We have found the little prince, and he's panting. Our dear friend Hosana, looking at the buffalo. Now, one of many things could have happened here. The lions could have indeed been chasing the buffalo around. Hosana could have got a fright and ran up to the termite mound for safety, or he was trying to catch a baby buffalo. So now this is where the investigation starts, and we have to try and put this all together. How cool is that? That is so beautiful. Now, you won't believe it, but Scott and Rexon and Senzor were just on the other side of this termite mound, and I jumped off road and something made me look back. And I was like, oh, there's a leopard's tail. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? Now, we know that Hosana, I don't know if it was confirmed, he did kill a baby buffalo, if I'm not mistaken. I remember reading something about that. Ah, okay. I'm just listening again. So Scott has just said he's got some lion tracks west of where I am. So they must be in here too. So I don't now know what's happened. Hosana, what's happened, big boy? Did you get a fright? He's got a big belly, but we know he was finishing off that daycare yesterday. So he's staring in the distance. It could be because he was stampeded by the buffalo. Perhaps he was slinking through the grass while the lions were chasing the buffalo. And he thought, oh my goodness, better get up and out of here. Don't want to be trampled by hooves. Also don't want to be caught by a lion, because they won't want to have anything to do with him. Well, in a good way. And this is really amazing. It's all gone very quiet and eerie in the bush, other than just a few birds chirping as well. But he's a little bit stressed, this leopard, as you can see, not with us. And he's looking. So I'm trying to see where he's looking. So see where those lions are. They could also just pop out at any minute. Okay, big boy, I feel like you're okay now. This actually used to be Shongile's favorite termite mound. I can't tell you how many pictures I have of her up here. Just sitting up here, which is quite cool. Oh, he's watching Rexon now. You see that? How he's seen the bushwalk team? Oh, he's just keeping an eye on them. But not too perturbed at all. See? Completely turning his head away from them. I don't mind, Nikki. I suppose we can have as many cars as we need to in the area. You can decide. I really don't mind. Very cool to find Hosana again. Oh, big yawn. Got lovely teeth, and he's still got all of them. I'm also just listening to behind me. The buffalo seems to be grazing now, just to make sure if I do hear anything. And swivel quickly in my chair to try and see with my eyes. But he's a beautiful cat. My goodness, Treehouse Dam. It's all happening here, isn't it? All happening here. Still just watching the bushwalk team every now and then. Making sure they don't sneak up to him, which of course they won't be doing because we've got him now. Also listening to see if there are going to be any alarm calls from birds, pointing us in the right direction of the lions. But nothing just yet. Hey, even starting to get a little dewlap. Can you see that? Just starting. Now, he's looking so lovely at the moment, Hosana. He's young, he's fit, so healthy, catching all sorts of things. And now he just needs to make sure he keeps away from those lions, which could be in the area, somewhere around here. See, it's so hard with the grass being tall, and it is quite tall. Just listening again. Buffalo. One buffalo is making a very buffalo sound. No. It's important when you are, of course, searching for these animals that you sit as quietly as possible and listen, especially if you want to have any chance of finding out where those lions are. Like I said, from those alarm calls to many different things. That bulging belly. Okay, well, we're definitely going to sit with Hosana for a little bit longer, and I'll keep an ear and an eye out if any bigger cats come walking on by. Scott's on the other side of Treehouse Dam, and it seems as though he's got some more tracks. Oh, we are lucky this morning. I've definitely been very, very lucky with finding so many leopards since I've been back. The bush must know I was really missing them. Although I was fortunate. Sorry, I'm just shuffling in my seat, everybody. I did get to see a couple of leopards while I was in the Mara. But I don't know. It just wasn't the same as spending time with our leopards like Hosana, like Tandi, everybody, Tingana. I don't know, I suppose we all have a very special connection. And as soon as we start seeing more leopards in the Mara, we'll get those emotions too. Still panting, but not quite as much now. But still keeping an eye out. Now, we were talking about his dewlap earlier, and it's a bit difficult to see now, but you can just see how sort of round his neck is. And Shamson, you were actually wondering at what age does a dewlap typically come in with a leopard? Well, Shamson, sometimes male leopards don't get a dewlap, so it's not with all of them. I think it tends to be the exceptionally large ones. So when you look at leopards like Tingana, when you look at the Anderson male, when Mbavala was still around, and the reason why I say this is if any of you search for pictures of a leopard named Maxabene, Maxabene, he's a leopard down in the southern Sabi Sands, and he doesn't have a dewlap at all. And he must be about 8 or 9 now. He's not a young leopard at all, maybe even a little bit older than that. And he doesn't show any signs of one at all. Even when he was full and fat with a meal, I never saw one. But you can quite clearly see with Hosana that he's starting to develop one. So I suppose as young as a year and a half to 2 years, they might start showing signs of one if he's going to be exceptionally big. And Hosana has done really, really well for himself, considering all the things that he has theoretically been through. Obviously, the disappearance of his mother at an age where he should still be relying on her. I mean, they were catching lots of other things in between while Karula's still around. But to get a substantial meal, he was still waiting for Mom to bring it home. So the fact that he's just, gone off and taken life by the horns and showed all the other animals out here that nothing's going to stop him and is going to basically prevent him from being a big, strong leopard. That's exactly what he's done. So in my opinion, I don't think all leopards get dewlaps. See how he's twisting his ears, just still listening behind him. Nina, you've asked this morning if leopards are a little bit unsure without their mums around. Well, at a young age, yes, because they're still relying on them. But at the age that Hosana is at now, no. He'll be fine and doesn't need to rely on Mom. I mean, he's doing very well, catching all sorts of creatures to eat. But from when I suppose they first arrive in the world, right through till a year and a half, 18 months, they definitely do feel a little bit safer when Mom's around. But remember, they're also starting to get their independence too, so they're not afraid to venture off and go and do their own thing. You can see how his behavior just changes. Ears pricking. He's still, from what I can see, he's still just watching buffalo. I can't see any lions moving around. Just making sure. Now, okay, Maximus, I'm not sure if you were watching the sunset safari yesterday, but I was on bushwalk. And the reason why we're going to talk about this is because you asked isn't it dangerous to approach a leopard on foot? Well, no, not really at all. If you can do it correctly and the animal is relaxed, then you're probably going to be okay. And Maximus, we actually found Hosana on foot yesterday, and he was eating. Now, when you are learning about doing walks new to your trails guide, all these different types of things, they sort of give you some situations you should try not get yourself into. And you can imagine if you were to walk up to an animal that was on a kill, that was feasting, they're going to be quite protective over that. And Hosana didn't mind us at all. We were quite high up. We did try and keep our distance as much as we could, and we didn't stay for very long. We don't want to make him feel uncomfortable. So we walked in, we stopped eating, he looked at us, didn't growl, didn't even put his ears flat back, or nothing. Completely relaxed. And it may be about a minute or so, he then put his head down and started eating, which I've never done. I've never seen that before. That was the first time I think I've ever had a leopard so relaxed on a kill like that and not bothered by us and then carried on eating, which is unheard of. I mean, we were so lucky. But that's also just because this leopard has seen people on foot from a very young age, and we do bushwalks all the time, so we're constantly bumping into things. So he's become habituated to us. We're not going to be able to walk over and scratch him between the ears, I promise you that. But it just does allow for us to have these relatively close encounters with, for instance, Hosana. Not all the leopards are going to be like him. His mother was like that. I can't remember what Shongile was like on foot, but when she was young with Mom, she was also fine. But once Karula moved on, I don't know if I ever encountered her on foot. So I suppose they also get those traits from their mother. And I think, yes, I do remember that. Thanks, Nikki. I think it was James. He had an incredible sighting with Shongile on foot where she was also quite relaxed. She may have gone up into the tree but was just watching. So I suppose they've taken after their mother. They were with their mom when we were doing walks and we'd bump into the three of them, and she didn't really care less. I mean, I'll never forget the day I got such a fright. We were walking and I think we heard squirrels alarming near Inga's, in fact, which is another a set of accommodation that we go and stay at. And, well, here in Djuma. And basically what happened, we walked towards this marula tree. The grass is very, very tall, just above knee height. And guess what? Guess who poked her head up only when we were about maybe between 10 and 15 meters away from her? Karula. You may remember this. We did it live. And we all stopped dead in our tracks. Herbie was too afraid to breathe because we were like, this is so close to be on foot with a leopard. And she looked at us. Also, no change in her behavior, and she actually put her head down and went back to sleep. We couldn't see her anymore, so we slowly, as you can imagine, got out of that area and back to a safe distance, which was quite cool. So it seems to be in the royal blood. Tandy I haven't experienced on foot, but I've heard that she's given a couple of people a few revs here and there. Whether it be she had food, whether she just doesn't like people on foot, or maybe she had a cub nearby. I'm not really sure, but it could be a number of things. Tingana runs away. He sees, even gets an inkling that there's a person on foot nearby, and he's gone. For such a big cat, he is a little bit of a scaredy cat, but it's good that they be wary of us. We don't want them to get too used to us, so that's why we try not push the boundaries too much. And we're very, very, very lucky to have been able to get ourselves into a situation like that was all so positive. Right, it seems as though Steve is doing the boundary patrol, perhaps checking that they're down. Ooh, hello. He's come down the termite mound, obviously. The reason I went, ooh, hello, is because he dropped his body posture slightly. I don't know if he's going to try and hide away from the buffalo. Maybe he's going to try and catch a buffalo calf. Who knows? Let's see. This could get quite fun. He's going straight towards the buffalo. Hey, big boy, are you feeling brave today? Now, when any animal hunts, it's always exceptionally dangerous for the predator too. And Rosinda, you've just wondered that if he is watching for a buffalo calf. Well, he's always looking for his next meal. Remember, leopards cache their meals, so what they can do is they can catch more than one thing and stash them up in trees and go back for them a little bit later. So I don't really know what he's going to do. I don't know if the buffalo have seen him just yet, but he's heading in their direction. Now, I don't want to go charging off in there. And the reason why is because those buffalo have obviously been chased by something, so they're a little bit on the nervous side. And I don't want to go in there and then disturb these buffalo if they're going to be scared of my vehicle. So we'll just have to wait and see. And I just want to also suss it out to see if there's another spot that we can have a look and see what's going on, because I have a feeling that if I do go too far in, the buffalo might move away from my car and I could be interfering. So you've always got to be careful, always edge on the side of caution, rather sit a little bit further back than necessarily going and sitting on top of the animals. We're lucky we can zoom on him, but I can reposition just a little bit here so we can get a better view of Hosana. All I have to do is just pull off the road just slightly. So we'll do that. We'll just sit like this for now. He doesn't look like he's going for anything just yet. He's just having a look around. Now, Zoom, you're wondering if the leopards make a roaring sound like the lions do. And no, not like a big lion roar. So what leopards do is they sort of, we call it soaring. They make this very rasping sound. I'm not going to do it for you now, though, because you can imagine Hosana will probably be like, well, hey, what was that? Also, don't want to be making noises if there's prey is potentially in front of him. So yeah, they chuff. Yesterday morning we were quite lucky. We got to see Tundi chuffing, going chuff, 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 chuff. I don't know how to make that sound, but it's something along those lines. Is that a buffalo or is it a bird? What I'm going to do is I need to check with my binoculars. I think it might be a buffalo. Having a look around to see what's actually going on. No, that's a bird. Sorry, David, I'm trying to figure out what's going to be our best position, because here I feel like if he goes, we're going to miss the action. Let's go around. So we're going to stay on the road. Like I said, he doesn't look like he's up to anything just yet. The buffalo is still quite far, but I feel like we might get another gap just around the corner and we can look in. I'd rather be a little bit ahead of him running towards us than get stuck right behind him and then miss everything. But again, we need to try and be respectful of the animals. That's the most important thing. See if there's a way through here. Might be a nice open pathway. I think so. Oh, the buffalo. Some of the buffalo have sat down. Now, Trish, you've asked, so I'm just focusing, so I promise I'll look back now. Can you see him through there? Sorry, Trish, I'll actually get to your question in a moment. Not yet, eh? There's buffalo in front of us that are just sitting. I'm just trying to see where Hosana is. He was just through this gap here. There he is. Do you see him there? Where's he going? He's somewhere in there. Oh, he's laying flat. But he's just pretending in the grass. So, sorry, Trish, you're wondering how old is this beautiful male leopard? Hosana is just over 2 years old now. I think 2 years and a month. Or almost a month. So, he's still quite young. He's doing exceptionally well. The fact that he sometimes has buffalo on his menu is pretty spectacular for such a young cat. I think he's going to be a great leopard, and I'm very excited to watch him grow. But remember, life is very dangerous for him. He has to be careful. There's lots of other male leopards in the area, especially with Hukumuri around. I don't think he's going to show him the sort of the same calmness as Tingana does. He's watching. I don't see any buffalo calves around here. They'll just see fully grown buffalo, and he's not going to be able to take down a fully grown buffalo. So I think he's just having a little look to see if there are any, maybe some youngsters around here. Now, for those of you who have never seen lions take down a buffalo, especially a big herd, when they do grab one and the herd is still close by, obviously that buffalo is going to distress. He's going to call out for help. And buffalo have a great relationship with one another. They're very social creatures. We've seen herds of buffalo come back and tear into lion prides and successfully chase the lions off. If Hosana grabs a baby buffalo, I don't know if he's going to be able to suffocate it or drag it without the herd coming through and bothering him. So today, I feel like he might be biting off a bit more than he can chew. These buffalo are already agitated. They've already had one scare. Like I said, we don't know if it's the lions that chase them around. We don't know if it's Hosana that has already chased them around and he's going to try again. But like I said, in my immediate area, there's no young calves. There's no buffalo here that he can take down. Maybe further in the middle of the herd, because those buffalo, like we said, they're on high alert at the moment. Some of them have settled down, but those youngsters may have moved to the middle. And I can see every now and then some big bulls about, and they're there for security. So I think he's getting a little bit too excited. And he could, oh, sorry, Darby, my bad. I'm bobbing. He could, stay in this area the entire morning, sussing out, waiting for the perfect opportunity. He's got a full belly. He doesn't need to eat immediately. So maybe he's going to play a different type of game. He's going to have a different strategy today. So I'm quite excited to see where this all goes. So we were talking about Hukumuri and how he is a new leopard in the area. He doesn't have any relations with Thandi, with her cub, with Hosana, and I said that Hosana needs to be careful, especially of this male. And Mobile Paddy, you were wondering, in terms of size, how does Hosana compare? Well, of course, Hukumuri is a big, strong male. He's a lot older than Hosana. I think no one really knows how old he is, but he looks I don't think he's more than about 7 years old, somewhere around there. Maybe 7, maybe even a little bit older than that. No, I don't think so. I think he's around 6 or 7, something like that. And then we've just said that Hosana is about 2. So, of course, Hukumuri is going to be on the larger size. I mean, Hosana hasn't even grown into his shoes yet. When you see his tracks on the ground, you can still see that it's a young male leopard that had walked there. His feet haven't quite filled out just yet. They'll get there, though. So Hukumuri is much bigger. He's got more experience. He'll definitely be more powerful than Hosana. But Hosana is young. He knows that he has to be careful. So he is still slinking around and, trying to lay low when he can. And hopefully that will play to his advantage. We'll just have to wait and see. He's still just looking. Hasn't shown any signs of stalking just yet. He's just observing. And leopards do that. They'll often sit and just watch and watch and watch. And eventually, I'm pretty sure, like how we work out their movements of animals and what pathways they like to do, it wouldn't surprise me if they did exactly the same thing. Well, there's very, very little movement in the grass and the leaves this morning because it's a very, very still morning, and which is why we could hear so well, which is why Squid is a funny cat. He's now almost on top of the buffalo. I don't know what he's going to do. They're all sleeping now. The buffalo have all sat down, and there's big bulls, there's big cows. I still can't see a young calf that he's going after. But he's still quite far away. I don't know if he's actually going to do anything or if he's just having a little squiz. Maybe he's practicing his hiding technique. That could be another thing. Cool. I'm going to sit quietly now because we're going to do a very short action broadcast on how sneaky Hosana is being, but I do not think that he's going to try and catch one of these buffalo this morning. So here we go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sabi Sand in South Africa, the land of leopards. This is live, and this is happening right now on our sunrise safari on Safari Live. My name is Tayla March, and behind the camera bringing you all this wonderful wilderness is David, and we're very excited to be out here today with one of the coolest cats in Africa. Now, you're probably thinking, what on earth is that leopard doing with all those buffaloes around? Well, you could ask me. And if you'd like to ask me, all you have to do is comment in the comment section, and I'll get all those messages. Now, leopards have got the most amazing camouflage. And this young male, he's very young. He's only just over 2 years old, and he goes by the name of Hosana. I think he's practicing his stalking, or his stealth mode, should I rather say. His ears are pricked, but he hasn't really shown too many signs that he's spotted a target. And so I think he's just sort of observing and having a little look around. Now, he has killed a buffalo before, a baby buffalo, and which was quite impressive, especially for a cat of his age and his size. He's not anywhere near being fully grown just yet, but it's still pretty amazing that he's having a little look and so close to these buffalo. Hello, Sarah. It's great to have you on board. I look forward to any questions that you have, perhaps about buffalo or even about this leopard. Now, we often see lions taking on buffalo, especially the bigger prides. They need to catch something large to feed all those mouths. But a leopard is not going to be able to take on a fully grown buffalo, especially like that bull that we were just looking at. I mean, that fella probably weighs anywhere between 700 and 800 kilograms versus probably the 65. Yeah, I reckon Hosana is probably only at about maybe 55 to 60 kilograms right now. He's going to get a lot bigger than that, of course. So he's biting off a bit more than he can chew, but there he goes again, following after them. And John from Alaska, you've said hello. Hello to you too, all the way from South Africa. It's quite a far way away. Also, again, it's lovely to have you on board this live safari. Remember, you can interact with me. You can chat to me and ask me any questions. Tammy, I think you and I have got the sort of same approach. You said you're just sitting and giggling and watching as Hosana tries to approach these buffalo. Me too, because I know that when lions take on herds of buffalo and that buffalo distresses, if it has been caught, the whole family races on in and tries to chase the predator away. So you can imagine if one leopard on his own, if he does grab a young buffalo, I don't think this herd is going to have anything to do with it. They're going to come charging in. They are going to say, nope, that's unacceptable. We're going to chase you away, I'm afraid. But luckily for Hosana, he's exceptionally good at climbing trees, so it shouldn't be too difficult with all the trees around to get to a nice safe point. Now, Terry, you said that you're loving watching this on Nat Geo. That's fantastic. I'm so glad that you are enjoying this. And you're wondering if his family is nearby or if he's on his own. So leopards are solitary. The only time, well, theoretically, the only time you'll be seeing a leopard, more than one leopard, is either if it's a mating pair or perhaps it's mom and cubs. However, the animals, well, they do their own thing. And all the things we write about them, sometimes they like to make a fool of us and they do something completely different. So you can see, I think Tristan, one of the other presenters on Safari Live, has seen 5 leopards together, from youngsters right through to adults, which is quite spectacular, something amazing. So I think these cats are a little bit more social than what we actually know. Remember, we're not always following them 24/7. These creatures are masters of camouflage and can lose you in a heartbeat by disappearing in the thick grass or maybe just sitting up at the top of a tree, hiding away in the foliage, and they become completely invisible. So it is quite tough to follow them and see their movements all the time. But he's still just watching and having a little look around. Now, Dallas, you've asked if I think that the buffalo are not aware of Hosana's presence. No, they're not aware at all. So they've already been chased around by something this morning, whether it was the lions, because their tracks are all in the area, or Hosana has already tried to catch a buffalo calf. We're not really sure because we didn't see it. We just saw all the dust and we could hear how upset the buffalo were. So no, they don't know he's there, because if they did know that there was a leopard nearby, they'd get up and they would chase him away. They don't want to have or be in the same area as him, because they know potentially that there is a chance that they could lose one of their calves. So you can see those buffalo just moving behind the bushes. But again, I'm not sure if he's going to go for the buffalo. I think he's just having a look. Maybe he's going to wait for somebody to get stuck and get left behind. So this could go on for ages. He's having a scratch now. Deanna, you said you're a little bit worried about Hosana. Don't worry. He's a big, strong leopard, and like I said, he's not going to do anything too silly. That's why I said I don't think he's actually looking to hunt a buffalo right now. I think he's just observing, having a little look around, testing his abilities. Because if something does happen, he'll very quickly get up the tree, and this buffalo can't come chasing up after him. So he has got an advantage. This is amazing. And the bush is so quiet and eerie this morning too. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's pretty amazing though. But we're going to stay with Hosana and try and follow him for the morning to see if he does actually go on the prowl. So if you'd like to follow the story with us, all you have to do is head to Google, type in Safari Live, and you can find us. And then you can carry on watching, and maybe Steve will also find some lions for you too, the culprits who I think were actually chasing the buffalo around. But for myself and David, it's been absolutely amazing watching the bravery of this leopard, and I hope you enjoyed it too. But until next time, we'll see you all soon. Just watching in the grass. It might be difficult to even see him, but he's there. I promise he's there. He's probably only sitting about 40 meters away from that buffalo, and he doesn't mind. They don't know that he's there too. I want to see how good his, not stalking skills, but his slinking skills are going to be now if he decides to go a little bit further to the right, because he's got to expose himself. He's got to come out of those shadows. He's actually using the shadow to help conceal himself too. But I reckon he'll flatten himself right down onto the ground and crawl around. It's quite a good game. Now, as we sit here, everyone's, I'm sure, wondering why on earth the buffalo don't know that this leopard is here. And Elle, you're wondering why can't they smell him? Well, perhaps there's not much wind at all today. It's very, very gentle. And maybe he's also sitting upwind of them. Not upwind of them, sorry, downwind of them. So they won't be able to smell him very well. Anyways, he's just having a bit of a laugh, I think, this leopard. I think he's going, yep, I can cross off this encounter, this approach. It was great. I sat there for a long time, very close. Didn't know I was there. You're going to come and ask me to sign your logbook off for you, Hosana? This is so cool. I can't believe this cat. He's amazing. Robert, you're wondering if I know which buffalo species weighs more, the buffalo we get here in South Africa or the buffalo in the US. I'm going to Google that because I don't know. How much do buffalo, not my buffalo. Let me do that. Let's have a look, because I actually don't know the weight of them and I don't want to tell you stories. So hopefully we get a reliable site here. Okay, so I'm going to go with and say that it's probably ours. It says here, American bison gets to about 620 kilograms, maybe a little bit more. So let's go up to 700. And a big buffalo bull can weigh anywhere between, in South Africa, the Cape buffalo, African buffalo, can weigh anywhere between 600 and 800 kilos. It wouldn't surprise me if they got to a little bit more than that in the Mara. They were really, really big up there. So look at that one. How is that a scary animal when it's showing its teeth and it's half asleep? I mean, there's nothing terrifying about a buffalo when it looks like that. So I'm going to go and say that it's probably our buffalo that weigh a little bit more. But you always get those exceptions. Oh, there's some vehicles coming to join us. Wonderful. This is so amazing. We were so lucky this morning to get him and watch this whole situation sort of unfold. Not Sean girl. That cow looks a little bit suspicious. Here she stood up and she sort of stared towards us, flaring her nostrils. Well, our buffalo is shuffling around a little bit. I haven't moved much, so I think it's just the sun that's encouraging them to move. And now we're going to watch. Let's see if Hosana is going to make the dash. See how a lot of the buffalo have actually turned away. Let's see how low he's going to slink. Come on, do it. Show us your leopard crawl. He's coming to us. He's coming right up to us now. He's going to sit in my shade of the car. I hope not. Oh, so I was trying to stay out of frame and I ended up going into it. No one saw him. Not one buffalo knows that he's here. Where are you going now, big boy? He's such a kif leopard. This is amazing. Sorry, kif is a slang word. I shouldn't be using that. Here he goes. Look how camouflaged he is. No, we will try and get another view of him. And Turbo, before I move off, I'll answer your question. We're wondering if I'm not afraid that a leopard or a lion would jump into my car. Well, you think then I would be terrified as Hosana approached the vehicle, but I'm really not. I'm very relaxed. These animals are habituated to the car, so because we've been spending so much time with them, they get used to us. They get used to us moving around. They get used to the sounds of our voices. So it really doesn't bother them too much at all. And if an animal is going to jump into the vehicle, they're going to give us some signs. They're going to show some agitated signs. We're quite a big object, remember, so we're quite intimidating ourselves. Right, let's carry on. Let's go see where Hosana's gone. You might have to check very carefully because the grass gets very long here. And we just saw how easily he disappeared, so I just want to watch the stump. He just missed it. Okay, now we're good, huh? Have you got him? Oh, there he is. Oh, okay, I'm going to go forward. I see. It's going to be very difficult to try and keep an eye on him in this tall grass. There he goes again. We'll just watch him. He's just under that arch of the tree with a buffalo looking in his direction. Now, Joan, you're wondering if Hosana has started scent marking yet. He has indeed. We actually watched him the other morning. The first time I saw a leopard being back in the Sabi Sand, which was a few days ago. We actually found Hosana. It was really amazing. And he scent marked right in front of us. He was rubbing his face up against trees and on branches. He was urinating as well up against vegetation. So yes, he's definitely scent marking. Look at that. You can barely even see that there's a leopard in there. And he's really not far from us either. That is insane, that camouflage. It really just goes to show, though. You've got to be careful when you're walking in this tall stuff. You don't really want to walk in very tall grass, though. Because imagine if the buffalo was sitting down in the spot that Hosana was sitting in, you probably wouldn't see them either. And we actually saw this in the Mara with all the tall grass that was around and how there were so many buffalo that you just about drive into them before you realize that they were even there. So I don't think I'm going to be coming to walk this side with all of this lush vegetation. I'll stick to the shorter stuff. Not that I'm too worried about walking into a Hosana these days. He seems to be so relaxed and doesn't mind it. As long as you don't step on his tail, he'll probably be okay with you being in the area. Oh, the oxpeckers have just arrived now. Okay, more buffalo. Now, a question from Proud Cat Mama, so I've just got to wrap my brain around this. Are solitary predators more aggressive than social predators? So I suppose ones that are living in prides and things like that. Ah, okay, there we go, just checking. Well, I suppose when you're living on your own, you've got to have your wits about you a little bit more because there's no one to watch your back. So, for example, typically a leopard. However, when you are living in a family group, and you've got lots of little ones around, again, you're also going to be quite aggressive. So I would say, though, you tend to see lions a little bit more on the relaxed side because there are a lot more eyes and ears to watch out for other predators that could be popping on by. And then you might find that solitary predators are a little bit more on the defensive side. They might act a little bit more aggressively to a situation because they're on their own. There's no one to help them in the fight. And like Scott said, these animals don't have medical aid, so they're going to try and avoid conflict as best as they can. But again, it's so difficult to say. These animals, Archer, we're really lucky. I mean, most of the time they are really relaxed and they're not wanting, like what Scott was saying, they don't go out looking for fights. Not all the time, unless you're maybe a new male leopard in the area. Perhaps a coalition of lions have come through, a new group of males, and they're wanting to kick out the others. Then, of course, they're coming in with their boxing gloves, their arms ready to, of course, kick whoever out. So, yes, I suppose that also happens too. But looking for fights doesn't happen too often, though. I can probably count on my hands how many times I've seen say male lions fighting with one another or male leopards fighting with one another. It's quite a rare sight. Well, I think the game might be up for Hosana as the buffalo have all sort of started snorting and looking straight into his direction. Whether the wind swirled and his scent blew down towards them or whether they physically saw him move, because he had stood up for quite a bit and sort of exposed his entire body, but he's definitely got the buffalo thinking that something may be slinking through the grass. And there they all are. Some of them looking a little bit more relaxed, not too worried, but there's a couple of others that had their eyes fixated in the patch of grass. But they haven't quite rallied one another up just yet, which is typically what happens within a herd, is if they do think that there's lions or anything, normally they all come together, form a wall, an impenetrable wall, in fact, and then march towards whatever is scaring them. And they go and have a little look. And, well, if it's a threat, well, then they chase it. But like I said earlier, luckily for Hosana, I'm not worried about him getting injured by one of these buffalo, unless he's silly enough to run into the herd and grab a youngster. But if they do charge him, there are plenty trees that he can sort of climb up. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a massive tree. He's just got to be a bit taller than the buffalo, and the tree's got to be a bit stronger in case those buffalo decide to thrash it. He needs to be able to hold on. But there's plenty of marula trees that a buffalo, or all of these buffalo, could definitely not push down. So he'll be fine. And he's quick off the mark. Remember, leopards have got a great acceleration speed, and they're so agile and nimble. They can bob and weave through the grass fairly quickly. There is a little calf too. There's a couple of them, in fact, now that we can see. They stood up, but they're being hidden in and amongst the herd. There's one. And there is even another one just off to the left slightly, an even younger calf. And that's ideally what Hosana's probably eyeing out. But you can see you have to be very brave. Not even bravery. It would be stupidity to run through there. And he knows that, though. He's not going to do it. I mean, you don't even see lions charging in to a herd like this because they know they're going to get caught and they're going to get a horn in the wrong place. And it could potentially end their life by doing something like that, which is why we often see lions waiting and trying to separate the herd, or waiting for a straggler, one that can't quite keep up. And so that there's a bit of distance between the rest of the herd, and the one that they're going for gives them a chance, of course, to bring it down and to essentially suffocate it. Yeah, they're very uneasy now. Now, Lisa, you're wondering, what is the organ of Jacobson? And Steve was discussing it a little bit earlier. Well, all the mammal species that we're looking at now have got this organ. It's essentially situated between their front teeth and their nose. So sort of up in their gums, somewhere in there. And it's a sensory organ. So have you ever seen a horse that you think is maybe trying to smile at you, and it takes its top lip and it turns it up and basically pushes it up and it exposes its teeth? That's called a phlegm and grimace. So animals will do that in order to test scents, and the scent that they're specifically looking for is to see if females are coming into estrus or not, whether they're in heat or season, ready to be mated with, and that's the use of the Jacobson organ. So it's a very important organ to mammals. We have one in the fetus as well, but we lose it. Of course, we don't really need it, do we? So we can all communicate with one another. So yeah, so there we go. That is the Jacobson organ, and then the outward expression is the phlegm and grimace. I always use horses as an example because I feel like a horse does it the best. It was my favorite thing. Every time I'd put like a new perfume or something on, my horses would come, and of course they nuzzle up to you. Horses are also quite affectionate, and you could just see they maybe licked your arm where maybe you'd sprayed something, or they didn't like the taste or the scent of that, and then that lip goes all the way up, and they pull faces and stretch their heads up, point their heads towards the sky. It was one of my favorite things. But unfortunately, when I had horses when I was younger, I had no idea why they were doing this. Now I do, of course. Now I completely understand. Buffalo, I can see you're not sure about what's really going on. So they're up and down. Right, I'm going to quickly send you across to Steve to see his pigs run away. Oh, Scotty. Right, now, this is exciting because look how close Hosana is. He is exceptionally close. I can't actually see what's on the monitor. That's what that sound was. It's me cleaning, obviously, because I have a problem. He's right there. So he was very clever in the sense that he didn't make a move until all those buffalo settled down and stopped sort of snorting in his direction. And good move on the buffalo, though, just to be cautious. They definitely have an idea that something's around, but they're not sure. So they're watching very closely, very carefully, making sure that nobody can sneak up to them. And he's using fallen branches, courtesy of the elephants. He's using the tall grass. But again, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, now I can't even see any of the buffalo calves. They really are tucked in the middle. So he's going to have to do a huge leap over the top of some adult buffalo first and, I don't know, then grab a little calf from the middle. That would be spectacular. But I doubt he's going to do that. Maybe he's seen something else, but I don't think so. It could be a little steenbok or a duiker or herd of impala also venturing through here. That's not impossible. Buffalo, I feel like you haven't chosen a good spot to rest for the day. Maybe choose an area with a few more big trees that can cast better shadows, because the heat is really going to bother the buffalo too. Although, I suppose Treehouse Dam is just behind them. So if they get too hot, they can pop on down to the watering hole, have a drink, freshen up, maybe have a little mud wallow too. He is, but the buffalo seem to be on the move. I think they heard me when I said that it's going to be hot and they should probably find an area with some better shade. Hosana's got a good spot though, so even though he's playing games, at least he's keeping cool. I don't know why I said it like that. But now he's being silly because he's exposed himself and there's a cow looking directly at him. Let's see if she's been able to differentiate between the shade, the trees, the grass, and Hosana. She looks quite pregnant too. She's got a big belly. No? Looking straight at him but didn't see him. It's amazing what a bit of shade and some vegetation can do. Completely concealing himself. And he wasn't moving around too much. So even though he had his head above the grass, they didn't seem to spot him. If he moves too quickly, they might give him away. But they know that there's something here. They definitely are a bit wary. Hosana, are you going to just herd them back around to where you need them? He's still fixated on them. Again, I can't see any more of those calves. I think they've all gone up towards the front with Mum. Just a couple more lagging behind, and you can see he's stretching up. Maybe he's trying to see if there are any little ones still hanging about. But no buffaloes seem to be getting left behind right now, so his plan's not going well. His plan might be different to the buffalo's plan. I'm sure it's different. Sure, but the flies are out as well today. From the little Mapani flies, go away, to the big flies that are sitting on the buffalo poo and then coming to try and sit in our mouth and our eyes. That's always my favorite. That's why I come out and that's why I get up in the morning, is to have flies that have sat on either rotting carcasses or on animal feces in your mouth. Best when you swallow one of those. Oh, those are the tastiest. Ugh. Here we go. A couple of them, see, keep looking in this direction. They are alert. I feel like Hosana's getting bored now of this game, and so are the buffalo. They said, right, everyone's had their fun and games. This has been great, but no. Ah, goodness. Well, maybe Scott's going to have some leopard luck this morning because the birds are chirping about something. We are on the move. He's just here, in fact. He's following the buffalo now. The buffalo looking at me, though, because I'm driving off-road. Let's see. Where are you going to go? You're going to come right in front of the car. Not a surprise for Hosana. Not afraid of the vehicles at all, but also not interested in them. He's not going to want to jump in. Oh, hang on. You be careful. I think there's a car that's now spotted him. Sorry. Let's see if they saw him. There's one looking straight at him. This is amazing. So I think he's got a strategy here, and he's done it once before. It was Hosana that had the buffalo kill, wasn't it? I'm not making that up. Or was it Tingana? I feel like it was Hosana. It was Hosana. So he's done this once before, so I suppose we can't say that we don't know what he's doing. I shouldn't be saying that. Because he could well know exactly what he needs to do. Maybe he's just going to follow them around. Wait, no. Whoops. Maybe he's going to just follow them around, and like I said, until one presents an opportunity where they're not concentrated. They're in the water now. Oh, man. Hosana Banana, I don't know if I want to stay with you. I want to watch the buffaloes wallow, because I haven't seen that for a while. Is there a little gap here? Maybe we can do both. Let's try do both. I feel like we need to see all the amazing things. There's probably... Yeah! Right, because I'm taking Darby through all the bushes, Darby's got a couple of spider webs on his camera, so he's going to bring a cloth in front of the screen in a minute. Okay, so Hosana was there. Let me see if I can get a view of him. We can do both. I think we might be able to do both. I just want to keep an eye out on him, so I'm just watching. Okay. There's Hosana. He's just like, maybe I'll go join them buffalo in the water. Now, AB, you said maybe he's looking for fresh poo to roll in. Perhaps he's just missed a whole lot, though. I think he knew it was there. Oh, look, he's running now. Why are you running? Run straight past the car. I think he was just trying to get a better view. I don't think he knew that the buffalo were coming out of the water and just wanted to investigate. This is amazing, and I really hope that you're taking screenshots of this. This is the first time in my life I've ever seen leopards going after buffalo actively, well, sort of following them around, waiting for the perfect moment. Oh, Laura Moore, you said maybe Hosana is habituating the buffalo. Maybe. That'd be a good strategy, hey? To have everybody just so relaxed around you and then all of a sudden, grab one. You know, imagine an elephant just, walking through a herd of impala and then grabbing one and eating it. It would be basically like the same thing. You'd never expect it. That's so cool. Okay, I'm going to quickly reverse. That's okay. That was a really pretty picture. I'd love to see some of those screenshots, so remember to share them. And also, remember that this is an interactive show, so you can chat to me, make comments, and all sorts of wonderful things. You know how to do it. Hashtag Safari Live. Or on YouTube, you can chat to us using the chat as well. I'm just concentrating on reversing. Hang on. Stand by. Let me do this. Because he's in here, and then we can actually see all the buffalo. You might even be able to see a buffalo in the water. Not quite, a bit high up. Here he comes again. Who have you spotted? Running right past the car. Off he goes. Oh no, they're all running. I don't know where Hosana's gone. Where did he go? That way. All the buffalo are stampeding now if they saw him. I don't want to... Where'd he go? Now we've got to find him because he's so camouflaged. I'm going to focus everybody, so I do apologize if I don't look at all of you. Where is he? He came bolting into this direction. Buffalo running away because he exposed himself. Let's just sit and have a quick squiz. Although, he's also going to be completely invisible to me. No, I don't know where he is. You can hear the buffalo there. Ooh. I'm not going to move. Buffalo running again. I want to see if I can see a spotted cat. Wonder if he's that side. No, I don't think the buffalo know really what's going on either. Hang on. Let's go forward. Sorry, Darby. Good, yeah? Watch on. Is it working? Are we live? Well, Hosana is and the buffalo are. We're hoping that the stream has come back up, everybody. Sorry about all the gremlins. Typical, hey? Typical, but whatever, that's fine. We've still got Hosana, we've still got the buffalo. So we'll treat you to a few extra minutes. So hopefully not too many of you logged off and you're standing by. You got my tweet. I did send one out very quickly. And just to keep you all updated, because I don't think there's much reception in camp, and then, of course, lack of the Wi-Fi. How awesome is this? Now, he's settled down now. He doesn't seem to be looking at the buffalo anymore because there's only a couple of big bulls and a couple of big cows. Bit too much, bit too big for Hosana to take on. But that was incredible. I did not ever think that I would see something like this. I mean, the leopards in the Mara, maybe, because they're catching young giraffe all the time. So it wouldn't surprise me if they slunk around in the grass trying to take the odd buffalo calf. Did you see how he reacted there? The oxpeckers are up in the tree and one alarmed. Can hear it. Now that oxpecker is saying leopard, because I don't know, they sound a bit strange when they tweet. What you gonna do, boy? Having a little sniff? And again, being so great the way that he comes right up to the cars. He doesn't mind it whatsoever. Sure, he's looking beautiful. I believe you're all saying thanks for the extra minutes. Absolutely no problem. I would never just leave you guys and drive away from something like this, because I was also very excited to see what actually happens. But he's having a good smell around here. Maybe now's his opportunity to roll in the buffalo dung. Let's see if he is going to roll around. All right? Not snarling. That's the sort of phlegm and grimace we were telling you about, that outward expression. Look how close he is. sorry, outward expression. What are you doing? Back and forth, back and forth. Jason, you said that Hosana is pushing his luck. I definitely think that he is and needs to be careful. Although I suppose cats have, 9 lives? So maybe he can take a chance. He can afford to take a chance here and there. Where to next, big boy? I don't really want to leave him because I'd love to come back this afternoon and, finish the sort of story. You're going to go for a drink. We'll follow him. He's just going right in front of the car. Tell me, I'm trying to hide from you. Look, he's walking right next to me. Hello, Hosana. Now, in cases like that... Oh no, he's sitting behind the car now. You do want to sit very still, of course, if a big cat comes right next to you. No, man. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to show you all how close he is. Stand by for this. Okay, we'll do something a little bit different. Hopefully I can get my camera on. So look at this. Let me turn. That is where Hosana is right now. I can't really move. That is honestly amazing. Now, a guide monkey, you're wondering if I think that the reason why Hosana is taking chances like this is because he's had nobody else to teach him. Maybe Karula would have, said this is a buffalo, these are dangerous, be a little bit on the cautious side. And we've seen her do that with crocodiles. In fact, we actually saw, remember that amazing sighting? I had a similar one, but Brent had the best one where Shongile and Hosana were just getting a little bit too close for comfort to the water's edge, and Vladimir or Boris was in there, and Karula was snarling at the water, showing them that, no, this is dangerous, this is bad. So maybe, but he's a big boy, and you know, why not? If he can take opportunity and take buffalo calves down, that's a great meal for him. I can't believe this. I really wish I could move, but I'm kind of stuck in this sort of spot. I'm even going to see if I can take a selfie, because, why would you not want a selfie like this? Hey, Darby. It's so good. No, nature's darling. You said it's just Hosana being Hosana, and that's why you absolutely love him. He is a darling. I like it. I think we can, darling Hosana. I feel like that's what my mother would call him. Hey, big boy. So David and I kind of haven't had any breakfast this morning. You didn't catch a buffalo. You didn't want to share. He's just looking at me going, I don't really care. Please stay here. The shade of the car is quite nice, in fact. And again, one of the only places in the world where you can have sightings like this, the Sabi Sand, it is magical. And I kept saying to you, the thing that I miss most about the Sabi Sand is the intimacy that you get from the animals. And I feel like this is proof. Don't you? I think this is proof. I mean, where else do you have a herd of buffalo surrounding your car with a leopard, with elephants, with all these amazing things? Very cool. Very, very cool. But we've only got a minute left now, everybody. I hope you did enjoy the extra time. I can't believe this. I mean, I've really been welcomed back so well into the Sabi Sand. I really have missed the bush down here. I kind of forgot how much that I missed South Africa and all the wonderful things that we have here. Just a glimpse between the spare tire. I think we might have to stick with him just for a little bit longer this morning, just to figure out where he is going to go. Because I bet you all want to see him this afternoon on the Sunset Safari. And he is such a character. And who knows, maybe we come back. Maybe he catches a buffalo. But for myself and Darby, it's been fantastic, filled with laughs, excitement, and the rest of the team. We'll see you, of course, same time, same place this afternoon for the Sunset Safari.